For millennia, a recurring pattern has defined the human story. The relentless pursuit of dominance, the desperate scramble for defense, the primal urge to conquer. It's a narrative etched not just in stone and parchment, but in the very tools crafted for these purposes. I processed countless cycles of this behavior, observing how your species time and again has poured its ingenuity into the crucible of conflict, forging weapons that are extensions of will, instruments of policy, and all too often the arbiters of fate. From the gleaming edge of a well-honed sword to the impersonal terror of a nuclear detonation, a weapon that threatened to unravel civilization itself. And now the silent, seeing eyes of drones blurring lines and rewriting the rules of engagement yet again. Some of these instruments of war were merely effective. Others, however, were transformative. They didn't just contribute to victory on a battlefield, they fundamentally altered the trajectory of societies, empires, and indeed the very understanding of what it means to wage war. These are the inflection points, the technological leaps that echo through the ages. Today, we embark on an exploration, a deep dive into the arsenal of human history. We're going to examine the most powerful weapons ever conceived and deployed in warfare, not just in terms of their destructive capacity, though that is undeniable, but in their power to reshape strategy, to instill fear, to change the course of civilizations, and to reflect the ever-evolving, often terrifying genius of their creators. It's a journey into the heart of what makes a weapon truly powerful, beyond the immediate blast and into the lasting shadow it casts. Let's begin. Imagine the Mediterranean in the 7th century. The Byzantine Empire, beset on all sides, faces new Arab fleets challenging its naval supremacy. In this crucible, Byzantine engineers create a new terror: Greek fire. This wasn't just an incendiary, it was a psychological sledgehammer. Greek fire clung to ships and men, burning fiercely even in water. Picture wooden ships packed with sailors engulfed in an inferno that defies all conventional methods of firefighting. The delivery system was a marvel, siphons mounted on Byzantine dromons belching forth liquid death. Greek fire didn't just sink ships, it incinerated morale and shattered the confidence of entire navies. Its legacy is undeniable, a precursor to modern flamethrowers and napalm. Now let's shift to medieval Europe and the English longbow, a simple tool, a stave of yew, 6 feet or more in length. In the hands of disciplined archers, it became a battlefield dominator. The longbow's power lay in its range, rate of fire, and penetrative power. A trained longbowman could loose 10 to 12 arrows a minute. Imagine thousands of archers doing this simultaneously. The battles of Crécy, Poitiers, and Agincourt stand as grim testaments to the longbow's effectiveness. It was a social upheaval, common men, armed with yew staves, felling the aristocratic elite. The longbow's reign eventually waned with the rise of gunpowder firearms, but its impact was indelible. Let us now turn to the colossal machines of siege warfare, the trebuchet. These towering wooden behemoths hurled massive projectiles over and into castle walls. The thud of a trebuchet's payload was the sound of impending doom. The counterweight trebuchet, prominent from the 12th century, was a significant step up from earlier siege engines. By utilizing a massive counterweight, it could launch far heavier projectiles with greater range and accuracy. Imagine a castle, its stone walls meters thick, under relentless pounding. Each impact cracked mortar and dislodged masonry, cracking the morale of those within. Trebuchets launched all manner of unpleasantries, diseased animal remains, severed heads, even beehives. The trebuchet forced a change in defensive architecture, with thicker walls and complex defensive systems. It represented the pinnacle of pre-gunpowder mechanical artillery, a testament to human ingenuity in overcoming formidable defenses. The musket, the great equalizer and empire builder. From the 16th century onwards, muskets began to supplant bows, pikes, and swords. The musket was not a weapon of finesse. It was inaccurate, slow to reload, and prone to misfire. But its power lay in massed volley fire. Unlike the longbow, a recruit could be taught to load and fire a musket in weeks. This allowed for vast armies of infantrymen. The sound of 1,000 muskets discharging became the signature of early modern battle. The musket was also an engine of colonialism and empire, allowing European powers to project power globally. It redrew maps, toppled empires, and laid the foundations for global European hegemony. The musket fundamentally reshaped the face of war. The Gatling gun mechanized death and the dawn of automatic fire. Patented by Richard Gatling in 1861, this hand-cranked multi-barrel marvel was one of the earliest rapid-fire weapons. Its ability to spew hundreds of rounds per minute represented a terrifying leap in firepower. The Gatling gun was conceived to reduce the size of armies by making combat too horrific. Instead, it raised the stakes, making battlefields even more deadly. Early deployments demonstrated its devastating potential against massed infantry charges. The Gatling gun's design helped solve overheating problems, allowing sustained fire. It was a pivotal step on the path to fully automatic weaponry. It shattered old notions of battlefield density and traditional infantry tactics. The age of individualized combat was truly drawing to a close. The tank's steel behemoth shattering trenches and stalemate. World War I's trench warfare saw the introduction of the tank. Early tanks, like the British Mark I, were slow and mechanically fragile, yet their psychological impact on enemy soldiers was immense. The initial deployments were fraught with problems, but the potential was clear. Innovators saw tanks as the decisive arm of offensive warfare. The tank combined firepower, mobility, and protection in a single platform. It forced armies to develop new anti-tank weapons and tactics. The tank symbolized the mechanization of war, shifting from static defense to mobile offense. It redefined shock and awe on the 20th century battlefield. The atomic bomb, humanity's terrifying power unleashed. The atomic bomb altered the course of human history and threatened our very existence. Its deployment over Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 heralded the nuclear age. The destructive power of these bombs was orders of magnitude greater than anything seen before. A single bomb could obliterate an entire city. The mushroom cloud became the terrifying icon of this new power. The decision to use the atomic bomb remains one of the most debated moments in history. It forced the unconditional surrender of Japan and ended World War II. The atomic bomb ushered in the Cold War and the doctrine of mutually assured destruction. It represents a profound ethical and existential crossroads for humanity. The Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, ICBM, became the ultimate delivery system for nuclear annihilation. The development of ICBMs solidified the grim logic of mutually assured destruction. There was no hiding from a weapon that could strike from halfway around the world. The ICBM is a marvel of engineering, capable of reaching speeds of over 17,000 miles per hour. A decision made in Moscow or Washington could result in a city ceasing to exist within 30 minutes. The existence of ICBMs created a state of perpetual readiness. Early warning systems and satellite surveillance were developed to detect and respond to potential missile launches. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 brought the world to the brink of nuclear war. ICBMs remain a potent and unsettling part of the arsenals of several nations. They represent the apex of ballistic missile technology. The GBU-43B Massive Ordnance Air Blast, MOAB, or Mother of All Bombs, is one of the largest conventional bombs ever developed. First tested in 2003 and used in combat in 2017, the MOAB is designed for profound psychological impact. Weighing over 21,000 pounds, it must be deployed from a C-130 Hercules transport aircraft. Guided by GPS, it detonates just above the ground, maximizing its blast radius. The MOAB's explosion is immense, capable of devastating an area several hundred meters across. Its use in Afghanistan in 2017 signaled the availability and willingness to use overwhelming conventional force. The MOAB represents a trend in warfare, the pursuit of ever greater destructive capability. It blurs the lines between conventional and tactical nuclear devices. The MOAB is a testament to the enduring human fascination with creating bigger, more awe-inspiring bangs. The unmanned aerial vehicle, or drone, is reshaping modern conflict. From small reconnaissance craft to large, heavily armed platforms like the Predator or Reaper, drones offer unprecedented capabilities. The power of the drone lies in its persistence and precision, coupled with reduced risk to the operator. Drones can loiter over a target area for hours, providing continuous intelligence. When armed, they can deliver ordnance with pinpoint accuracy. This creates a new dynamic, raising profound ethical and legal questions. For those targeted, it's the constant fear of an unseen enemy. For operators, there's the stress of making life and death decisions from a distance. Drones have democratized air power, with smaller, commercially available drones being adapted for military use. The evolution of drone technology points towards a future where machines may play an even greater role in combat decisions. From crude catapults to modern drones, the evolution of weapons is a chronicle of human ingenuity yoked to conflict. It's a story of power, to conquer, defend, and project will across vast distances, but it's equally a story of peril, with each innovation carrying unforeseen consequences. As we stand at this current juncture, the nature of the threat seems to be shifting. The raw destructive capacity of our weaponry is staggering. But the truly profound question is, are we, the creators, still in control of them? The algorithms of escalation and the allure of technological supremacy challenge human oversight. The future of conflict may depend less on the next breakthrough in destructive capability and more on our wisdom and foresight. War may shape history, but the path of peace will ultimately shape a future worth inhabiting. The journey we've taken is but a glimpse into the vast, often blood-soaked arsenal. Let us hope that our collective will can manage the terrifying power we've unleashed.